Greetings and welcome. Happy Tuesday, June 20th, and we're just getting about to hit the solstice on the 21st tomorrow. And this is Reverend Joey Manuel at Temple of the I Am. And today we had to cover our crown chakra meditations. We make a connection. I receive a lot of information for you. Therefore, I tend to be protected, and so I can deliver the message as pure as possible. Um, One of the topics that I wanted excuse me, um, one of the topics that I wanted to touch this morning was for you, so that if you're watching this video before or after, is that that the subject of meditation. It comes in. We live at such a hurried pace, life, and time has definitely accelerated. It doesn't exist according to the clock anymore. Yet we follow our heart, we follow our intuition, we make it to places, and somehow we have a lot more fun. Time, you know how they say time flies when you're having fun, and I want everyone to be able to be flying, and having fun, instead of miserable times, especially when we're going through changing. We're going through a purging and the merging of our true selves into reality, into our own everyday reality. This is happening for every individual, and some are resisting the change of others, and even though families are coming together, they're resolving their own inner stuff, and that's their own inner work. Yet it's not to interfere; it's to allow them to go ahead and come to you for the question, or if it's a direct hit on you, not to get caught up in the drama, to lower your frequency. Come together, if it's all if at all possible, to have a level of communication that's possible. Always be impeccable with the word, like the four agreements, and at the end it always says, always do your best, and it's all going to work out. Uh, One of the things that I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to talk about and focus on was meditation and how to handle these situations that are occurring right now, because there's many situations busting up around, and this is a hurried year. And one of the things that I want to meditate, which I'm channeling to you, is basically the different types of meditations that can be done. For example, it may seem funny, but yesterday I did, and done a couple of times, was called the belly dance challenge. Um, because not everybody can calm themselves down, but the idea of meditation is to blank out your mind so that you can start expressing the heart more and less of the ego. Um, and living from that heart space as much as possible, even though you still have to use your mind to concentrate. But it's good every now and then to go ahead and lose your mind, whether it's in dancing, music. When you're moving, you're actually moving. You're paying attention to your body, to your movement, um, and not so much to your mind. And that way, your mind, like they say, let go and let God. You allow your mind to manifest whatever you have implanted. Like, let's say you work with crystals. Let's say you work with just simple prayer, and you invoke your prayer and you want to surrender it. You don't want to dwell in the situation. You need to clear your mind. Let's say you have the condition of what is called anxiety, or that's still energy. There's nothing wrong with you. The You're just basically sensitive in in an extensive way. You want to make sure that it's in balance, and you want to do it those times. Um, Active, a workout, an energy, a yoga workout is also good. Um, Play music. Um, Go with the beat. If you're from the 80s, like 80s music, get an 80s flashback. Make the world a divine place for you. But I recommend it, and then I highly recommend that things are flowing at a very fast pace, and we're getting messages from every direction, and some people are not as receptive to others. So always one thing that I want to say, if you're a medium or a psychic or whatever, I like to practice what is called um, ethical spiritual respect. In other words, if you're going to ask somebody before you give them a question, they may not be very prepared to listen or in the mood or not like it at all. Um, you ask them, are you into this? And if not, realize that you're not responsible for delivering the message. They will receive it at one point or another, or you can telepathically communicate. This goes with a stranger. This goes with friends, family members, partners, etc. Anyone that has in a relationship. Um, One of the things that I say is about meditation is you can meditate now and connect with the entire world and realize that if you look at a map that has no lines, if you look at an actual globe that has no lines, there is no separation, even though we see on the regular maps that they created different separations, lines between countries and so forth. But compassionately, what I want you to do is in meditation is see yourself as everybody. Because what happens is as far as we're concerned, everyone on earth has already been everybody. This is something that has been so true for quite some time now. Um, for me, I discovered this around 2005, and one of the things that you want to do is just accept the inner higher. What connects us all is the I am presence, the inner self, the higher self, which is purely from the heart. The message comes from the heart. Um, I was speaking about 2 weeks ago. A beautiful doctor, Salo Stanley, in San Diego, California, or I'm sorry, she's in California. I can't remember where she's at now. She's a beautiful person. She was doing cards and teaching people how to get in touch with their guardian angels. Um, I basically go through a lot of purification rituals, and meditation will do it. Sometimes you get them in dream time, and just yesterday, as a matter of fact, was seriously, I had the cable guy come over. It was a young man, and he pretty much asked me, "You're psychic, aren't you?" And I wasn't dressed like this. He had never been inside the house. There was not really anything that he could actually, pinpoint. I said, "How do you know?" He says, "Because I see it." He was born on a very special day. And what he wants to do is basically he sees a lot of his truth that comes out during the sleep time. And he asked me, well, how do I do it when I'm awake? So I gave him a few tips, pointers, and handed him some crystals and stuff like that to ground this information so he wouldn't be scattered. But he has a lot more. He asked, so therefore I volunteered the information, and gave him some tips. And we conversed for quite some time, and he had to go on working. And we were to stay in touch and work more often with each other. He's got my number at the Temple of the I Am, which in case you need it ever and find anything that's useful, I teach mediumship. This is what I was talking about with Salo. What I do find is to find what your strongest feature is, which is your stronger forte. It may be psychometry, it may be clairvoyance, it may be psyche, it may be all of the above. You don't know. The idea about we all have this interest, I believe strongly that we all have a sense of awakening, of an extra sense that sometimes we're too hurried or stressed, and in some way you have to relax the body, at least the mind, in order to receive. Some people use alternative substances that may relax them. I was one that at times, in order to get my own message or my emotions, we usually are what most difficult to read our own selves if we have our own emotions in our mind trying to interpret the cards and the message. So one of the things that I discovered, there's a crystal called apophyllite. It connects you with the ideal. It's very good to meditate again, and just hold it while you're doing the dancing, or just put it in your place of sleep. But just keep it with you and keep asking the questions, not in the questions as to what am I supposed to do. It's you decide what you do, what you want to do, what your purpose is, and which one of them you want to use the most, or if you want to be able to put them all, it's what you love to do. Somehow, if you're in the gifts of service and you're watching this, you will be, if you're an angelic and so forth, you will be somehow in some kind of gifts of service. Just like the gentleman that was being in service, he works for Comcast, but he is providing a service to people, to humanity, in the way he expressed himself, and so forth. And he said a couple things to me that were pretty obvious that I had no way of knowing. Uh, Messages that I have received, it's kind of like a continuation. Sometimes the messages are unfold, and as your life evolves and you evolve and you work on your inner self, things continue to progress, and you get your desires come closer to you. And so that involves purification, meditation, um, exercise, your regular day breathing, regular balance between no meditation and doing your own stuff, so you can tell the difference. But you're always connected. Know that when you have a ritual and you invoke something, you just let it go, and you're always connected. You're not ever disconnected. Um, Today, I actually feel a very strong presence with Krishna, and I'm very grateful. I wanted to, because and this is why I'm wearing this outfit today, because when I wore this is what the gentleman reminded me of, something that I heard from Lord Krishna, which I had seen him, loved the chants, done it all, and then one day I have a whole article about it. It says, "The day that Krishna kissed me on the cheek." And the message that he gave me was pretty private, but I wrote it down. I like to write things down because that way you remember, and kind of like, see, several years later, it's coming together as a piece. Because some things are meant to unfold right now, but some things are going to be down the road. So that's why it's good to write it. You may want to keep a journal of recording, or you may have a great photogenic energy, but something about the written word, when you write it, it's almost like it becomes tangible, it becomes physical, and even if it's garbled, you can use reference points. Um, so I highly do recommend, you know, writing your visions, and you see how the pieces of the puzzle come together in the meditation. Whether gardening can be another type of kind of meditation, swimming in the ocean can be a beautiful meditation. Taking a walk in nature can bring you a lot of meditation. Even if it's silent and peace and you don't get a direct um, message, you're getting it, you're receiving it, you're receiving this download. There's lots of people receiving downloads, and when you're receiving downloads, you get into like this hypnotic sense state, which is what I called angelic anesthesia years ago. Angelic anesthesia is what I used to call that state that you feel like kind of like you're floating. It happens usually to people when you go into an accident. Heaven forbid that it happens anyway. A car accident, different states of shock, a fall, something. You feel like you've been floating, like everything goes in slow motion. That's called anesthetic, angelic anesthesia is what I call it, and that's the place that you want to get to, so that you can go ahead and be able to fine tune and read yourself. And that's kind of like where I take you through, because as a clairvoyant, which is in prophet, I can actually see you what you're seeing. So, and I have several tools that I use to confirm it for you. So that's why I'm in the Hallandale Beach area, but I also take PayPal around the world, and I also meet in at the beach in Hollywood Beach, Hallandale, wherever you want to. I'm in the nearby vicinity of Hallandale Beach Boulevard, Hollywood, and so forth, and I can meet appointments out. Um, I can Uber and so forth, and I can take my recorder, and anywhere I am, I can help you. My number is 954-507-0466. That's the Temple of the I Am. My name is Reverend Joey Manuel. You can call me Joey Manuel. Usually you could leave a message on my voicemail, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Everybody is usually booked between a week to 2 weeks in ahead. And if there's any cancellations, hey, they happen all the time. My fees, I tried to make it comfortable for everybody. I came up with a 45-minute fee. There's a half an hour and an hour, and they're all just as valuable. But of course, it depends. So it's for everybody's pocket. To be able to accept or be able to afford it. Because what I do is sometimes I do a subscription series because sometimes you're not going to develop it in one day. You may get it, some people one day, but not everybody. It's not one size fits all. So I like to do the royalty treatment. I like to see how I can turn somebody's life and make them happier by being able to tune in to themselves and be able to be more in control or actually in surrender to manifest your world. In other words, and never, ever, ever give up. The most successful people in the world that they have impressed me lately has been Jack Ma, the owner of Alibaba. Um, he impressed me the most. I mean, I like the stories of Mark Zuckerberg and so forth, but he impressed me the most. And also Guy Tang, the launch of his new hair color line, My Identity. And actually it's because he's found his identity, and that's what this is all about, is finding your identity, your true self. And I know that social media, I have to agree with Guy Tang, social media can make that even more difficult because it becomes kind of like an ego competition, and it shouldn't be. It's not about that. You want to be an individual out there, and if you want to transform yourself, you want to go ahead and help. Maybe you want to blend in. Maybe you don't want to transform yourself. Maybe you want to enhance what you already got because you already came here perfect and whole and complete. And so what basically you're altering is the vision of you and your story. And that's where we go. That's where Reverend Joe Emmanuel takes you, and that's where you are capable of taking yourself. So anyhow, with that, I want to tell you, go ahead. And yes, the most obvious is like right now everything's quiet. It's nice and early in the morning. I don't even know what time it is right now. I'm not looking at it. But I wanted to offer you this little bit of tidbit of information to let you know. And for those of you who are watching this video, please tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the beautiful meditation with the beautiful Reverend Sharon Shaw at Merging Blog Talk Radio Show at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be joining her live, and you can ask questions when we get to that. It's a beautiful way to wake up in the morning. Every Wednesday we're there at 10 o'clock in the morning. Last week, I'm sorry, I had technical difficulties and I couldn't get access into the studio, but that's okay. We were going through some changes and I was going through some healing. I go through healing situations too, so that I can go ahead and pass on every time. But this is the time that I see that basically by the year 2020, things are just going to shift. We're living, side by side with people that we used to agree with, but we're finding a common ground and accepting ourselves with our differences as unique individuals, and that's what we want to expand for the rest of the world. Not kill each other. Don't watch that stuff. I just don't anymore. I don't give it power. Conspiracy theories, all those kind of things. Yes, we know that it's there, but the more you give it power, the more you help it create it. What you focus on, that's exactly what you see. And basically, you know what the law of attraction is. What you focus on, that's what you attract. So, if my little peeps out there, those of you who be impeccable with your thoughts, that's the whole point of meditating. So that it's not that you have to get it perfectly, but if you clear your mind, then and you connect with Source, and you come back with the strength, and recharge to handle those things. Get informed if you must. Read it, but don't hypnotize yourself with it by bombarding yourself with the news and what goes on in that type of media. And even the social media, it's seeping into our social media, which soon it'll cease to exist. Hopefully, we can pray for that to happen and all unite with love. But in the meantime, we're all here supporting each other. And remember, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., look for Blog Talk Radio Merging Spirit, okay? And subscribe to Blog Talk and follow so that you can get a reminder when the show is going to come on every week. And you can go to my page, Reverend Joey Emanuel. I usually post the day before or the same day that the show's going to come on, and I post the phone number where you can dial in if you're at work and you can't be at a computer or a place where you can hear it. Although now with the smartphones, you can hear the phone, you can hear the Blog Talk Radio as well. So there's many ways to go there. Put it on with headphones. You know, I think it's a beautiful white little truth, as I would say. When you're at work and you can put on a little headphone and be able to listen in. Hey, you may not be able to listen to the question, but you may be able to listen to the meditation, which is short and sweet. And Reverend Sharon Shaw does a beautiful job of those. Anyhow, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed this message. And I really love to prosper, and I really would love for everybody to prosper as well. So anybody who wants to give a donation, $1, $2, $5, anything that you feel from your heart, I greatly appreciate it. And once again, I want to feel the love. I send you 1,000 angels and 1,000 tenfold amounts of prosperity. Fill your pockets. Get ready to fill them and get all your duckies in a row. I send you one love, and I send you namaste. And I'm here for you. Thank you. And click the link below for any kind of donations or information. Thank you. And namaste.